Yeah, well, I'm going to throw one more name out there, and I'm just curious your thoughts on him because the starting tight end for this team is not there, and we've seen flashes, but he's still young, but he just hasn't stayed healthy. But man, this is a good offense and a good situation. Irv Smith. Irv Smith is now with the Cincinnati Bengals. Currently with the Nerds ADP, he's the 215th player off the board, tight end 34. So we're taking multiple tight ends from other teams before we're taking Irv Smith. Is that another one that you would just kind of try to maybe not target in the sense of like, because whenever you target those guys that are late like that, they're like, what do you know that I don't know? But
yeah,
when you throw him in on top of a deal like, just throw me in an Irv Smith to make it even, like he's one of those ones that I feel like could have a later career resurgence that we've seen. Higbee was one of those guys that had a later career resurgence. Gary Barnidge did it for the Browns. Darren Waller did it. Like
Darren Waller.
Yeah. So, I mean, you see this sometimes. He had the draft capital. We saw the flashes. He just had the hardest time staying healthy. But in this high octane offense, I don't know. He's interesting to me.
Yeah, he's very interesting to me as well. And he's also still super young. He's only 24 years old. Second round pick by the Vikings. Not, now it seems like forever ago. Kind of like that halfback tight end, right? Like he's 6'2", 240 pounds. But Irv Smith in that offense, he is intriguing. Again, another player kind of playing for his career. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had a draft pedigree before, didn't work out there because of injuries. And mostly that's what it was because of injuries. And with this offense, with Joe Mixon, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, there's going to be a lot of opportunity for him to be open there in the middle. And anytime you have Joe Burrow behind center, it could easily be one of those situations where he comes out. And like you said, you're getting Irv Smith for almost nothing out there. And maybe he finishes as tight end 12, tight end 11, like a good depth piece with the opportunity. If somebody goes down, if Irv Smith goes down and, maybe it's not Tyler Boyd or something happens to Jamar Chase, who has a ton of injuries. Not a ton. I don't want to say that like he's a ton, but somebody gets banged up.
Sure.
Irv Smith is a great buy. I mean, crap. And it depends how deep your league is. Irv Smith might be a free agent in some leagues. So for a guy who's only 24 years old, and we know the tight end position, he came in the league really young, takes time to develop and grow into. You see much later breakout years, year 3, year 4, year 5. And I understand that's where like some of these analysts mean, like you could buy the dip later, but like not many of those guys turn out to be elite studs, right? They come serviceable. So like I'm looking for elite studs, and odds of Irv Smith ever being an elite stud, pretty slim. But for the value right now, like what a great depth piece where the cost is nothing. So if it doesn't even work out, you just cut him off your roster.
Who cares?
It's not even a big deal. I mean, what are you giving up? A 4th round pick for Irv Smith? Like, you don't think there's going to be a player there in the 4th round where somebody wants Izzy Akabanda for the Jets because they have Breece Hall, they want him, they have Irv Smith, and you can't get him for a 4th round pick. If somebody doesn't want the upside in the 5th round of a generic Prince for the Kansas City Chiefs and they just like him for the upside, you can't get an Irv Smith Jr. There's players out there that offer little or no upside whatsoever, almost like Irv Smith, that you can get from this year's rookie class. So, and honestly, if you already had your rookie draft, probably a 4th round pick next year gets it done. Because some people are probably just looking for any kind of value for Irv Smith Jr. But I like that name because it is a nice upside player with a good offense.
Yeah, he's definitely one of those guys that, I'm just keeping an eye on, and I want to stash him because we saw Hurst at the end of last year catching touchdowns like crazy. So you never know how those situations could develop and evolve over time. And maybe he doesn't stick with Cincinnati, but he does enough this year to get a bigger deal and a better contract on a different team somewhere next year. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with him.